Right, let's just have a quick look at the preferences in KeyFlow Pro. A lot of these are self-explanatory, so I'm not going to go through all of them, but let's start here on the general pane. This one's very important. When importing files, leave files in place or copy to library. Now, in certain cases, you can choose this option actually on import. On others, you can't. Same thing as in Final Cut Pro. So it's a good idea just to check what this is. The default is leave files in place, so be sure to check that. Save downloaded files too. So especially when you are on a client and you want to actually download files to your local computer, then this is asking you which folder you want to actually copy those files to. For example, if you wanted to copy a bunch of proxy files, not to your Final Cut library, but to a folder, this is where you would choose that particular folder. Okay, the sidebar. This doesn't need much explanation. The next one, library. This is super important. Now, I'm currently on a server. So in here, this is where you set up your library and various clients. So I've got a couple of clients over here, and I can drag these like so into there. So these will be the logins available on the client side. Okay, so you need email addresses. This button is very important in terms of sharing workflow. Creatable means actually being able to upload files to the server library, and editable means being able to add metadata. Encoder settings, well, this is for previews. So on input, you can choose whether or not preview files are created on import or whether to manually activate that. I generally have this turned on, and this is the key pane where you actually choose your resolution of the proxies or the preview files and the bitrate. So it's up to you to choose what works for you, and it will vary depending on what type of footage you've got. As the little message down here says, audio bitrate has to be set to pass through so that the preview files can be used for proxy editing. So that's basically just going to leave the audio as it is. These are other encoders. So AV Foundation, that's what we're going to be using by default. If you want to use FFmpeg or the Red Cine X Pro encoder, you can download one or both of them and then just drag them into here. Search. This is an interesting one. You can actually, rather than searching up here at the top left for titles and tags, you can choose what you search for. So, for example, if you're looking for a particular editor, you can search for that up here. Watchers, we've talked about watchers, but this is basically where we set up watchers. Watch folders are very powerful. Don't forget that they're there. Don't forget that you've turned them on or that you've activated them. Otherwise, you may find your files disappearing or moving without actually realizing. Purchases, this is basically where you can buy expansion packs essentially for KeyFlow Pro within the app, and you can see the prices in there.